Okay, welcome to our team call that was put off twice last week. And again, ladies, I know you were very understanding about that, and I appreciate that. I know, Whitney had family come into town. She really wanted to spend time with family. That's understandable. And then the next night, I wanted to die. And so I really do appreciate you guys being really cool about that. It's never our intention to like push you guys off. It's not that you guys aren't 100% priority for us. And so I hope it didn't come across that way. I don't think it came across that way. I think you guys know us well enough to know that we 100% have your backs, but it just wasn't our intention to push this off for as long as we did. So I'm glad that we're all here now and that we are able to talk about a power hour, because this is really the nuts and bolts of how you run your business. This is your daily to-do list. And a way that I like to, I guess, run my business from a leadership standpoint is I think about what do I wish I had been taught early on in my coaching career. I wish I had been taught this in a very real, literal way. I would hear, oh, you need to be adding 3 to 5 people a day. And, oh, you need to be, starting a conversation with these people a day. But that was like the extent of it. I didn't really know who I should be adding, nor did I know how to start a conversation with these people. So I didn't. I was adding people. So I want you to kind of learn from our mistakes. I think I'd be a lot further along right now if I hadn't just started collecting friends on Facebook, which is what I was doing. Oh, I have 15 friends in common with all these people. I'm going to add them. And then it stopped there. I was like, yeah, I added 25 people today. That doesn't mean a damn thing if you're not reaching out to those people and establishing some kind of connection with them. And I wasn't doing that at all. So what we're going to talk about tonight is, how to add people to your network. And that's probably going to be the easiest part. How to reach out to those people. I think that can kind of be a tricky part, because a lot of the people you're going to be adding to your network, you might not know. You may have some friends in common with, but it's hard to know, like, what do I say to this person, And when I was doing all the trainings, when I was a new coach, it was always like, oh, you need to be talking about fitness. I'm like, how do you do that with people you don't know? So we're going to cover that tonight, and we're going to talk about how to invite, and then finally how to recruit. So it's kind of a 4-step thing. So let's start with let's start with adding people. Right now, it's a cup month. I try on a daily basis to send out 10 friend requests a day. Because it's a cup month, I've upped that to 20 friend requests a day, which gets a little more difficult once you start. Well, I don't know if it's true to say once you have more friends, but I'm picky about who I add to my network, as you guys need to be picky as well. You need to be adding people that seem like your ideal customer. I hope you know who your ideal customer is. In most cases, it's who you are, because that's who you're going to relate to. I'm a busy mom. I relate to busy moms. Stay-at-home moms have a special place, because I always feel like maybe they would have the opportunity to embrace the business side of this. So that's who I really go for, like moms with young kids. If I see a profile pic with a mom and a young kid, I see we've got some friends in common, boom, I'm going to add that person. I take a quick peek at their profile first. I make sure that they're not already hawking some other product like Plexus or I don't know, all those various diet drinks and things like that. Obviously, they're never going to become a customer if they're on something like that. It works, that sort of thing. So I take a quick peek at their profile. I look for that, and I make sure we have some kind of common ground that I can think right off the top of my head, oh, that's what I would say to this person. Like, for example, Jessica, you and I both graduated from Peckatonica. I tend to add a lot of people in like the Peck, Bago, Rockford, that kind of area. And then that's what I will talk about when I always say like, oh, you popped up in my people you may know list. I saw you're from Peckatonica or from Winnebago or from whatever. One thing I do not do is if I see that Jessica is one of my friends in common, I'm not going to add that person. I'm not going to add someone that's already in one of your guys' networks. And so that's just common courtesy. If I'm going through and I see I have a lot of friends in common with this person, but one of those friends is Missy Hacker, or one of those friends is Whitney Keene or April Bull, hands off. No, not cool. So add people to your network with whom, first off, they're not going to get scared off of a friend request, like you're not coming out of nowhere. Make sure you have some friends in common with that person or a really good opening line. And then 2, if they accept your friend request, and that's a big if, capital I, capital F, the vast majority of your friend requests will not be accepted. Who cares? Let it go. They get deleted. I have tons of them out there that are still pending. I mean, we're talking 6 months ago, they're still pending, which I just find kind of weird, like just delete it already. But don't take that kind of thing personally. Don't let that slow you down. It wasn't meant to be. Who cares? Move on. So that is my tips for adding friends. Make sure before you add them that if they accept your friend request, that came out with friend request, that you have something to say to these people so that you can start a conversation with them. All right, so now what Whitney and I decided we were going to do is we were each going to go like kind of back and forth. I'm going to talk about inviting, and then she's going to talk about, or not inviting, I'm sorry, adding. And then she's going to talk about adding. So you kind of hear from both of us, like, you know, what we do. So that's what I do. Now we can hear what Whitney does, and I'm going to mute myself.
I think you pretty much nailed it for what I do too. Those are the basic guidelines. You want to make sure who you're adding is definitely the people that you want to reach out to in your market. If you're adding people that you don't think you're going to connect with, it's just going to be pointless. You might be able to build, you know, a relationship with them, but if you don't connect, it's not going to go anywhere. They're not going to trust you to help them on a health and fitness journey if they do decide to take one because you guys don't connect. And like Amy said, whenever you're adding people, you want to make sure that you reach out to them. The thing that I do when I add people is I will add, this month I'm actually adding 20 to 30 a day. I've been hitting about 27 for the past 2 days. And probably 5 of those are getting accepted. But you want to make sure you're reaching out to those people. And I don't reach out to them as soon as they accept my friend request. So I think that is important that you follow this too. Give them like a day or 2 and then reach out to them. That gives you time to get on their profile if it's not public and learn a little bit more about them before you do start a conversation with them. So that's the thing. They also aren't going to want to be bombarded the second they accept your request. So I would maybe write down the day they accepted it, you know, and then go back a day or 2 after that and then strike conversation with them. Those are the tips that I have for adding. I think the rest Amy really nailed. You guys, with it being cut month, I know some of you are involved in cut month, so I want you to make your goal no less than 10 ads a day and shoot for 20 if you can. I think that's a good goal to set for yourself this month. Even if you're not in cut month, still add those people every single day. When you stop adding, you stop giving yourself potential to meet new people. So I don't know where you want to go next, but it's your turn.
That's well said. If you're not adding people, you're not giving yourself potential to grow your network. That's huge. And you never know who you're adding, like what that person might turn out to be. I added someone a couple of weeks ago, and she went over to my profile and looked and then came back and started asking me about coaching. And I was like, oh, that's pretty sweet. Yeah, I mean, she's still tossing it around, but it's something she's thinking about. And that would have never happened had I not just sent this person with whom I had like 6 friends in common a friend request. So next, once they do approve it, and I think Whitney made an excellent point there, like don't jump down their throats right away. It makes it feels weird. Honestly, like that's just kind of weird, maybe a little desperate, because the last thing you want to do is come across as a salesy person. You want to just come across as a really nice person. So I kind of already said this. I'm going to be repeating myself a bit, but when they do accept my friend request, if it's not someone that I know, or whom I have like any type of relationship whatsoever, my opening line is always, hey, you popped up in my friends you may know list today. I feel like I don't know how that's taken in my mind. That's making people go like, how do I know this person? Oh, okay, so I popped up in their list. Okay, that's not weird. They're not stalking me. I popped up on their page, and I saw we had a few friends in common. I also noticed ... This is the part you need to figure out before you send them that friend request. This is the common thread, from which I'm going to try to build a relationship with this person. I also noticed that you grew up in I grew up in such and such. What year did you graduate? Or if they're around here, I noticed that a lot of the friends we have in common are part of the moms group. Do you ever go to the meetings? Something like that. I've been adding some people I used to live in Mississippi, so I've been adding some people from there, and I'll just, mention like, oh, I lived there for 5 years. I wonder if we ever met, or, I see we have this person in common. I don't know, it's just stuff like that. Make sure you have something to say to this person, because when I look over my friends list, which is big, I cringe at the thought that I wasn't doing that for the longest time. And so I have all these friends with whom I have never said a word to. I don't know these people from Adam, which is why a lot of times when I see that I have 14 friends in common with someone, I look and I'm like, I don't have a clue who any of those 14 people are. I don't know anything about this person. Even though we have 14 friends in common, I'm not going to send this person a friend request because I have nothing in common with this person. And that's my own fault for not following up with those ads from way back when. So learn from my mistakes there and reach out to every single one of those people. They are not all going to message you back. That's okay. No big deal. But the ones that do, I immediately write their names down. I will write, I use these every day, the power of threes, the daily power of threes. I don't do the weekly, I do the daily. So I'll do all my ads over here. And then over here, like I'll put down like who I form, the family, occupation, recreation message. That initial message, I just call that the form message. I write them down just so that I know I contacted that person. But if they contact me back, I write them down in my, like where I take all my notes. Because those are the people that I'm going to follow up with and invite to a free challenge. That's not coming until invite. So I guess this is kind of short for the forming. It's important to just do it. I don't make my message about fitness unless it's like an organic thing. Like they have their profile pic is them like at the finish line of a 5K, or they're at the gym, or, something where it's obvious, where there's an obvious connection. In 99% of cases, there's not going to be an obvious connection. More often than not, they will bring it up before I will bring it up. But that's why if they message me back, I keep it light, I keep it friendly. Oh, your kids are really cute, or da-da-da-da-da, how old are your kids? Mine just started kindergarten, that sort of thing. I just keep it friendly, I keep it light. And then a few days later, I'll go back and just very casually invite them to a free group. But that comes next with inviting. So Whitney, did you have anything to add to that, to the form part of this?
Maybe. No, I'm just kidding. I bring fitness into it more than Amy does. I've always done it that way, and I know a lot of my coaches that are on this call probably got the message, hey, thanks for the friend or accepting the friend request. Are you into health and fitness as well? That is what has brought me success with building my conversations with my new people. I get blocked sometimes when people do read my messages. They won't respond. But for the majority of the messages that I do get back, they will come back with no, but I really need to do something, or yes, this is what I'm doing. But I have a more detailed message that I do send out now, Amy, that I got from you, I believe. The message that you send to the people who like your page, those ones that we send, I have tweaked it to send something similar to that for my friend requests. So instead of just coming out and asking them, are they into health and fitness? I throw in a little bit of what I've seen on their profile in the beginning part of the message. And then the end of it, I ask them if they're currently doing any kind of fitness program, or any kind of health, anything with that. I don't know how it's worded exactly, but I can post that in the group for everybody to see.
I was going to ask you to do that. I was going to ask if you're on your phone or computer, and can you pull up one of those conversations? I would be interested in hearing that as well.
Yeah, I will send it. Once I go on mute and you start talking the next one, I'll upload that into the group so everybody can see it. But other than that, that's basically what I do. And the new message that I have formed from the message that Amy shared with me probably freaking 9-10 months ago, I have gotten, since I've been sending that message out, I find I don't get blocked hardly ever anymore. And if I do, it's just people who obviously aren't going to connect with me anyways. But I get a lot of responses back from these messages. And I mean, it just brings open conversation. And probably 80% of the people that have purchased challenge packs have been from those messages. So I will definitely share that. Maybe you guys can tweak it and make it sound like you and try it and let me know if it does work for you if you do try it.
That's awesome. So that's very cool. Like we definitely have, different styles, but I think that's cool that we can share both of those styles with you guys, and you guys can figure out for yourselves like which of those styles you are more comfortable with, or you can try them both out and see which works best for you. Before we move on to inviting, does anybody have any questions? Don't be shy. You can all unmute yourself.
Yeah, we're not being shy on this call. Come on, guys.
But if you don't, I mean, that's okay too. You don't have to have any questions. No questions? All right. Then with inviting, and again, I kind of like go into these with the last one. So, I will start a conversation with these people, a general, just friendly conversation. And then a couple days later, I'll go back with my pretty standard copy and pasted message. And I let them know that, hey, I know this is going to be kind of out of the blue. I know we haven't talked about anything health and fitness related before, but I'm setting up a totally free 7-day clean eating challenge. I tell them just a little bit about what the challenge entails. I reiterate again, I know we've never talked about anything like this before, but I thought it couldn't hurt to invite you. And then I ask them if they'd like to be a part of it. I tell them to have a great day. I put a little smiley face in there, and then I sign it. I have had a lot of luck with that. Not a ton. It's not like if I could throw a percentage at you, it wouldn't be an impressive percentage as to how many people I'm actually converting to customers with that. But it is very effective nonetheless. I don't expect to get 100% of people. I don't expect to get 50% of people. But a lot of people do read that and they're like, oh, yeah, sure. And so then after that, I let them know, awesome, I would love to have you. I tell them a little bit more about the group. And then I tell them the only thing you need to do is register, which is totally free. It only takes about 1 minute. And then I ask them, would you like to go ahead and take care of that now? And most of the time they're like, yeah. And then I just send them the link to my Beachbody Coach website and tell them to click on the orange join button and tell them it takes about a minute to fill out a tiny bit of personal information. And then I like to tell them just to be, just to make sure they're not like, I just like to let them know that they're not going to be asked for any financial information, nor will they be bombarded with promotional emails. Because let's face it, we've all probably gone on websites and put in our email address and then had 5 emails a day, like Old Navy and Victoria's Secret come up. When I think about that, God, it's annoying. And so I just like to let customers know, like, that's not going to happen. This is just a formality for you to register for the group. And then if they, have expressed interest, after I've already written their name down, I'll put a little star next to their name so that I know that they're interested and that I sent them the link. And then once they register, I actually highlight their name. That way I've got this long list of people with whom I've talked to, the ones with stars next to their names. I need to follow up with them in a couple of days if they haven't registered for my challenge. I'll know to check back and be like, oh, hey, getting my ducks in a row for the challenge coming up in a few days, and I just wanted to see if you still wanted to take part in that. I'd really love to include you. And then once they do register, I like to highlight their names just so that I don't forget to add them to the group when it starts. So that's, I think, a really great, like, low pressure way to invite every single person you talk to become your customer. That is where I do 90% of my inviting. You know, when people like or comment on my posts, that's when I'll go in, you know, and let them know about challenge groups and things like that. I'm really excited to hear Whitney's take on this, because I haven't been inviting, like, to challenge groups so much. I invite all of my clean eaters, of course, to challenge groups. And if any of you have looked at my clean eating challenge guide that's in the file section, or if you've been in one of my clean eating challenges, you know that I weave a lot of challenge group stuff into my clean eating challenges, and I private message my challengers throughout my challenges and let them know, like, you're doing really great. I'd love to see you continue on with this journey. I have a 30-day group coming up, you know, I think you'd be perfect for it. So that's kind of my process. I get them into a free group first, show them how amazing these groups are, how powerful they are, and then I get them into a 30-day challenge. That is my invite process. I will turn it over to Whitney so we can hear hers. And we are going to run out of time in about 8.5 minutes. At that point, we'll probably, I'll just send a new link because we're cheap and don't pay for Zoom.
Okay, my inviting process. It's changed a little bit from what I was doing before, but events have been the best way for me to invite to my upcoming challenge groups. I do not do the free groups like Amy does as often. Believe it or not, I probably haven't had one for like 6 months. And that's because I never get turnout from them. So Amy has these amazing clean eating groups, like seriously amazing. And mine are like every time. It never fails. So I don't know why, but I don't get people who show interest in the free groups. And if I do, they'll get in there for April. I think you've been in a couple. Kimberly, I think, has too. They're dead, you know, and the only people that post are us. And I'm not going to waste my time on running free groups when I know they're not working for me. I've tried them for 1.5 years and it's just not my thing. So I'll do them every once in a while. Usually like after a holiday or something, that's when I'll get a little more interest. But other than that, I don't run them. And I push for 2 paid challenge groups a month, and I've been successful with that here lately. Normally I'll hold an event for my group, and I will invite every single person on my friends list that is not associated, you know, with other coaches, just people that I think would be good for my group. And when they, you know, click maybe or join, I'll wait a day or, you know, half a day or whatever, and then I'll connect with them. And that has brought me the most success with my groups. This past month, I have gone completely away from inviting to my challenge groups and inviting to my team instead. That had got me to diamond in 1 week. I literally went from having 2 active coaches to being diamond in 1 week. I was bound determined to build my team. So my inviting process right now is inviting to my team. If they do not want to join my team and sign up as a coach with a challenge pack to join my group, then we go from there, you know, about discussing, well, you can just join with your challenge pack. Or sometimes I'll let them just join with a program, or, you know, just Shakeology or whatever. I don't have strict stipulations. I'll let a couple people here and there come in with just a program, because I want them to know that I'm here to help them regardless. You know, and because I don't do the free groups, I do slide a little bit more with that. But that is the way that I've changed it, and it's really working. So I'm going to stick with that, and I reach out to, you know, people that I really reach out to anybody now, because I can't choose and pick who I'd want on my team. I can't choose and pick who I'm going to invite to my team. It's I mean, it's the people that I think I'll connect with, but sometimes I sit there and I'm like, crap, like, is she really going to be, you know, the person that I want on my team? Like, is she, you know, like I had that thought about one of the coaches that I just previously signed up because she's not in my age range, you know, and I don't, well, my mom for one too, you know, her and Kim are both a little older than me. So I was wondering if they would connect with me, you know, and didn't know how that would work, but it has worked out absolutely perfect. You know, it's, you can't choose and pick. Like if I would have said, I'm not going to talk to them because they're older than me, then I would have lost out on two amazing coaches. You know, so I learned to not be scared of inviting, and that my process has gone from, instead of inviting to just a challenge group, I'm inviting to my team. And then if they say no, we go from there because we know we're going to get no's, you know. But when I show them up front that, you know, I tell them I think they'd be a really good fit for my team, and I give them reasons why. And, you know, I have some people who do join in the challenge group, and Kim was one of them. Not Kimberly, who's on here, but Kimberly Casper was one of them. She didn't want to coach right away, and I did ask her right away, but she wanted to just join the group, so I did. And a week later, she decided she loved it, and boom, now she's on our team. So I always bring that up first now. That's been very successful for me. So.
Okay, I want to hear more about that, and I have some questions about that. I'm assuming I'm probably not alone there. I see Jessica nodding. So I'm going to cut this off now because we only have 3.5 minutes. Go back to Commit to Fit. I'll post a new link. Okay, guys? I'll see you in a minute.